Today in our 2006 Dodge Ram 2500, we'll be installing the B&W turnover ball underbed gooseneck trailer hitch with custom installation kit. Part number BWG NRK1313. This 2 5/16 inch hitch ball will go to a 2 5/16 coupler on your gooseneck. Connect there. Got your safety chain loops. Hook up your electrical connection and you're ready to hit the road. Now when you're not towing your trailer, you can store the ball in a convenient manner. Just pull your pin again, pull your ball out, flip it upside down, you can secure your ball by turning the pin counterclockwise. As you can see, your ball's not taking up any of your space in your bed of your truck, and it's there for when you're ready to use it. This B&W hitch features a 7,500 pound vertical load limit and a 30,000 pound gross towing weight capacity. You'll want to consult with the owner's manual of your Dodge Ram 2500 and go by whichever number is less, either the towing capacity of the truck or the towing capacity of the hitch. You don't want to exceed the limits of either one. Alright, we're going to start our installation in the bed of our truck. Now depending if you have a long bed or a short bed, your measurements will be different. So just make your measurements based upon your bed length. In the center of your bed, make a mark of a paint marker, a Sharpie, something like that, permanent marker, and we'll drill a small pilot hole. We'll go through the plastic bed liner if so equipped, and then the bed of the truck. We'll use that as a guide to use our hole saw to make the hole for the gooseneck head to stick through. Alright, with our hole made in the bed, we've stepped over to our passenger side of our truck now. There's a 7/16 inch hole in the side of our bed here, right above our frame, above our rear axle. We're going to make a notch going to the top of it to come down and form a triangle so we have a place to slide our rails in. We'll use a grinder for this. Alright, this large square cross member is our front one. Now, you may notice our outside holes here are closer to one edge. When we insert this, we want to make sure when it's rotated up that these holes are closest to the floor of our bed. So we can slide this in now. Just go across our frame. And rotate it up. Once we rotate it up, you can see how our holes are closest to the floor of the bed. Now we'll take our rear cross member, and you'll see why we have a notch here when we slide it in place. Goes right through the notch. Cool. Slide this towards the back of our truck. Okay, we'll flip our rail up here just for the time being. It's not going to stay in this position. These two rails are going to be brought further together once we have our center section in place. There needs to be at least 10 inches in between them right now so we can raise our center section in place. So we can raise our center section up now and install it with the appropriate hardware. Okay, now we'll get 4 bolts ready like this. We have our bolt, a lock washer, and then a flat washer. These 4 bolts will hold our hitch head into position to our front rail, and we'll get 3 ready like this with just a washer on them. These will hold it to our back rail. So with an extra set of hands, we'll raise our hitch head into position with our pin mechanism here towards the driver's side and the short end here facing towards the front of the truck. So we'll slide this in position. Use a 3/4 inch wrench or socket. Make sure they're going in nice and smooth. Okay, now that we have all of our hardware started on the front rail, we'll take our back rail, slide it forward, and then take our bolts and go through the rail on the head. Now on the inside of our gooseneck head for our back rail, we'll place a lock washer and then a nut over each of our 3 bolts that we inserted. Now that we have all of our hardware loosely installed to hold our center section into our rails, we're on the driver's side of our truck now. There's a 13mm bolt right here that holds a parking brake cable in place. We're gonna remove this bolt. We'll save this bolt because we will need it again. Set this thing down. We can take one of our long fish wires, go through this large hole here underneath our bed support, and run our fish wire towards the rear of the truck frame. And you can see our fish wire here, and this hole right above our leaf spring hanger, or right below our leaf spring hanger. Pull it on out. We'll slide on one of our spacer plates here under the wire, and then we'll thread on a carriage bolt. And we'll insert that into the frame as well. Now for reference, this hole is at the very rear of our frame section on the driver's side of the vehicle, right below and in towards the front of our leaf spring hanger. Now we'll pull our fish wire on through. And we'll have our bolt. Now we'll take our driver's side plate here. We know it's the driver's side plate because it has the instructions right here on how to operate our latch mechanism. We'll take the end of our fish wire and we'll thread it through this large hole. And we'll slide our bracket into position. Pull our bolt through it. Okay, with our bolt through our side plate, we'll attach our side plate to our rails using a bolt, a lock washer, and a flat washer. So for our back rail, it gets a bolt, flat washer, lock washer, and then a nut. Okay, now we can remove our pull wire, place on a lock washer, and then a nut. Just finger tighten everything up. Now on our passenger side of the truck, it's slightly different. We don't have to worry about that parking brake cable bracket. We have the same access hole here. We'll insert our fish wire in and go towards the back of the truck. Here's our fish wire right below and in front of our leaf spring hanger in the rear. Put on our plate, insert it in the frame, and thread on our carriage bolt. Push it in, grab our pull wire, bring our bolt through. So we have our passenger side plate now. Put our pull wire through the hole, and get our rail slightly into position. Now I'll remove our pull wire, put on a lock washer, and then a nut. Okay, now we're underneath our vehicle again, looking towards the driver's side frame. There's this wiring harness right here that's in way of our U-bolts that we'll be installing. So I'll pop it off our frame with a trim panel tool, or you could use a flathead screwdriver. Either one works just fine. Just 2 clips that hold it in. And we'll just unclip it, take our U-bolt, goes over our frame. All right, now that we got this U-bolt all the way through on the driver's side, we can reclip our wiring harness to the frame. Now I'll put our U-bolt in on the passenger side. Okay, with our U-bolts through on both sides, we'll put a lock washer on and a nut. We'll repeat the same process on the other side. Now that all of our hardware is in place, we can begin the process of tightening down all of our bolts, starting with the center section bolts to our rails first. Repeat the same process on the other side. Okay, with all of our center section bolts tightened, including the ones underneath, we'll tighten our side plates for the frame, then our U-bolts. Okay, now that all of our hardware has been tightened, we'll torque everything down the amount specified in the instructions. All right, now that all of our bolts are torqued, we can reinstall our parking brake cable bracket. Just insert it in there and reinstall the bolt. Okay, make sure it's going in straight first. Snug it down. All right, perfect. Okay, with our parking brake cable reattached, we can drill our safety chain loop holes through these existing holes. They're the outer holes. Make a pilot hole first. All right, now we'll use our step bit to enlarge our hole to 1/2 inch in diameter. Now we'll take our safety chain loop and try to see if we can get it to go down. We may need to go underneath our truck and enlarge the hole a little bit more in order to get in the right spot and trim out our bed liner a little bit. Okay, we'll take our safety chain loops. Okay, they slide it in and out smoothly, just what we want. Okay, that also slides down nice and easy. Now we can go underneath and attach our hardware. Take one of the included springs, push it up so the small side's against the bottom of the U-bolt for the safety chain loop. And we'll thread on a nut. One spring per side of the bolt and one nut. Now we're tightening our nuts down until they're flush with the end of the safety chain loop. Okay, that one's good. All right, we'll repeat the same process for the other safety chain loop. Now we'll take our ball release handle and we'll install it. So we'll take our handle and go like this through, twist it, and we'll pull it on through. Okay, now we can attach it to our gooseneck head. We'll take the included carriage bolt, put on our latch, slide our handle over the bolt, and then secure it with the included flange nut. And then we'll snug it down with a 13mm wrench. All right, now that our handle is installed, we can pull it towards us, turn it clockwise, and it'll hold the pin open. And we can go insert our ball. Drop it on in, turn our handle back counterclockwise, and it secures our ball into place. So we're ready to hook up to our trailer now. And that completes our installation of the B&W turnover ball underbed gooseneck trailer hitch with custom installation kit, part number BWG NRK 1313, on our 2006 Dodge Ram 2500.
Click the link below to shop, learn more, or visit us at etrailer.com.